Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. My name is Charles Jett, J-E-T-T. I'm the Sheriff of Stafford County, and at this time I'd like for those who join me on the stage to introduce themselves.
Captain Gary Settle, Virginia State Police.
Lieutenant Al Worsham, Virginia State Police.
Mark Lockhart, Acting County Fire Chief, Stafford County.
Mike Jones, Deputy Fire Chief, Fredericksburg Fire Department.
Rich Mariano, Special Agent in Charge, ATF, Washington Field Division.
Jim Keebler, Fredericksburg Police Department.
Thank you. The Stafford County Sheriff's Office, in conjunction with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the Fredericksburg Police Department, the Virginia State Police, the Stafford County Fire Marshal's Office, and the Fredericksburg City Fire Marshal's Office is requesting the public's assistance in helping to locate a suspect in connection with the 3 bombings that took place in the Stafford area on Tuesday, October the 30th of this year. Stafford authorities, working with the Fredericksburg Police Department, members of ATF, and the Virginia State Police, are looking for Laurence Alan Stewart II. He's 25 years of age, and at this point in time he has no fixed address. Stewart is being charged in Stafford County with 2 counts of attempted capital murder of a law enforcement officer, 2 counts of arson of an occupied dwelling, and 1 count of use of a weapon or device for a terror act. The City of Fredericksburg is also charging Stewart with 1 count of attempted capital murder of a law enforcement officer, 1 count of a missile into an occupied dwelling, and a count of arson of an occupied dwelling. On the morning of October 30th of this year at approximately 4 a.m., Fredericksburg Fire Department, along with the Fredericksburg Police Department, responded to a report of an explosion in the 3100 block of Normandy Avenue. This is a previous address of a Stafford County Deputy Sheriff. A woman at the residence was able to get out of the home without injury. 3 rooms were damaged, windows were shattered, and a hole was blown in the roof. The preliminary investigation has revealed that a homemade pipe bomb was thrown into the rear of the house. On that same morning, at 4:33 a.m., Stafford deputies and Fire Marshal's Office responded to an address in the Kings Grant subdivision in Stafford County for a report of an explosion. That preliminary investigation too revealed that a homemade pipe bomb had been thrown outside of the residence. Again, none of the occupants were injured. The home was damaged from the explosion. And the 3rd incident occurred approximately 5:30 that same morning in the Country Ridge subdivision. The Sheriff's Office and Fire Marshal's Office again responded to an address in the Country Ridge subdivision for a report of an explosion. Once again, preliminary investigation revealed that a homemade pipe bomb thrown into the rear of the residence. None of the occupants were injured inside, and the home did sustain damage. Investigation now leads us to believe 2 of the bombings were targeted to kill a Stafford County detective and a Stafford County Deputy Sheriff. The investigation has clearly indicated the target of these brutal bombings against the 2 law enforcement officers from Stafford County Sheriff's Office and an ex-girlfriend are a result of an investigation where Stewart was charged. Laurence Stewart is considered to be armed and extremely dangerous. His whereabouts at this time are unknown. I'd like to say that, be rest assured that every investigative law enforcement technique is being utilized to locate and arrest Laurence Stewart II. This man is a serious danger and threat to society and has already attempted to murder 2 law enforcement officers, their families, and citizens. And I'm hoping that with your assistance and the public's assistance, we can bring him into custody. I'd like to say that I appreciate the very professional assistance of Special Agent in Charge Marianas and all of his ATF agents, as well as Chief Nye of the Fredericksburg Police Department and his staff, our Fire Marshal's offices from both Fredericksburg and Stafford. This is a unified effort, and we are not going to stop until this man is in custody, and I appreciate their assistance in this investigation. We are asking for the public's assistance. Anyone with information is asked to call the Stafford County Sheriff's Office at 540 658-4400, or if they would like to remain anonymous, they can contact our Crime Solvers line at 540-659-2020, or if they would like another alternative, they can text CRIMES, which is 274637, CRIMES, and just mention Stafford along with the information. At this time, I'd like to turn the podium over to Special Agent in Charge Marianas from the ATF.
You know, from the ATF perspective, what is extremely difficult for us is when we see a threat against a public servant. And that's why we've taken this case and put the amount of resources and the dedication and the utmost seriousness to what occurred. Right now, we have approximately 50 ATF agents from the Virginia area working the investigation, along with agents in Philadelphia, Ohio, Indiana. We have certified explosive specialists and some of the best explosive investigators in the nation committed to this. What is disturbing the most to myself and the members on this stage is when these acts are committed against a police officer. These people give their lives for the community, and to be terrorized by this individual doesn't sit well with any of us. We're extremely committed to put him down. We're really asking for your help here. We're asking for the viewing audience, the media, anybody that's listening to the radio, from hotel managers to rental car dealers to convenience store clerks, to please pay attention to this information, get a good look at his photograph in the car he's driving, and contact police immediately. This guy is extremely dangerous, and we believe he has explosive devices that he's currently traveling with right now. So it is the utmost importance for everybody in the viewing audience to alert police if they have any sightings and utilize all the different forms of communication that the sheriff has provided. We believe this guy's been premeditated and planned this out for a while, and we have some excellent investigators and tremendous leads right now that we believe that will apprehend this offender. But this is a time where we all need to work together and utilize everybody's eyes on this one. Very rarely do we reach out and ask for police assistance on this time, but I think that this combined effort, due to the fact that it was targeted at one of your community servants, needs to be taken into account. I'll turn it over to anyone else that wants to speak, but I really, really thank you, and I implore your help on this investigation.
Thank you, SAC Marianas. I'll open it now for questions. Sir.
The targeted police officers, I understand they were involved in the previous arrest of this gentleman on another case. Is that true?
That is correct. The question was this detective and deputy involved in an investigation involving Stewart, and that is correct. They were.
Is this involving the indecent exposure, the flashing at the convenience store? I think, what is it, October 10th? I don't know if I have the date right. But there, you have a press release on your website involving him. Is that the case we're talking about?
There are actually two cases where deputies and people from the criminal justice community have been involved in. One is the 2 counts of indecent exposure that he has been, or warrants have been obtained for, and that he's currently wanted for. Another case involved domestic violence, where he was charged and a preliminary protective order was issued in that case.
Sheriff, do you have the date on that second case you just mentioned, the domestic?
I do.
And there's a domestic violence against the same girlfriend that was targeted, and I understand it was a former girlfriend who worked there as well.
It was the same girlfriend.
It was the same girlfriend.
It was. The date of the domestic violence arrest was the 26th of June of this year, and there was a subsequent violation of a preliminary protective order where Laurence was seen stalking a residence in North Stafford where the girlfriend was, and that was on the 21st of August. The indecent exposure cases occurred on the 23rd of July and the 16th of August. And as I stated previously, the warrants have been obtained in that case and are currently outstanding.
Was he convicted on the domestic violence, or is that under investigation?
He failed to appear in court on the domestic violence charge.
Is that a bench warrant then?
It is. There is a capias for his failure to appear outstanding.
How did he get the addresses of these law enforcement officers? Do you believe he's working alone, or does he have some sort of inside information that's used?
The first question being, how does he locate the law enforcement residences? That's currently still being investigated, and we're withholding certain information that we know right now that's happening. But just let me remind everyone, with social networking and the technology that's available out there today, it is very difficult to secure a residence address of just about anyone, including our law enforcement officers.
Sheriff, we talking about two separate officers or just one officer that's moved from Fredericksburg to Stafford?
Two separate officers, one a detective, one being a deputy sheriff.
And sorry to pound on that, but just to make sure we're clear, the Fredericksburg case belongs to an address of a gentleman, an officer that used to live at that address, so it's somewhat of a mistaken identity. But so are you charging him with going after that officer believing he lived there? Or, because it sounds like the other two houses, one belongs to one of the other officers and one belongs to the ex-girlfriend.
Of course, that's Fredericksburg's case, but I will say this, that it is our belief through the investigation that he believed that
so
the
that
deputy...
means you can charge him with going after an officer?
That's correct.
Okay.
Sheriff, do you have any information that this guy is willing to do anything he can to, as far as confront you guys, suicide by the police? I heard that yesterday out in one of the communities. Have you heard any of that intel?
We believe this person is extremely dangerous. We know that he is armed. We believe that he is still carrying explosive devices with him. He's already demonstrated that he's capable of committing murder or attempting to commit murder and kill others, and we have no reason to believe that he is going to stop, and that's why it's so important that we ask the community to assist us in this.
Sheriff, I'm not sure if this question is for you or for SIC Mariano. So what is his connection to these states, the neighbors of Pennsylvania and Ohio?
I'll defer.
We're following up on any leads possible, any place he's ever been in the last 3 months, relatives, friends, associates, where he's parked the car. That's our commitment to this investigation. So if we have any leads outside, we're deploying ATF agents that have been working 24 hours a day on this to try to apprehend this individual.
So clearly you have some in those states. Could you elaborate a little bit more as to what the connection is?
It's relatives, friends, associates, anything that would tie him back to somebody that can obtain his whereabouts. And, I have to credit the detectives with the sheriff's office that the dedication and willingness to follow up on every single lead. We don't want to just limit it to the Virginia area or limit it to him in this vicinity. There's a potential, if he's mobile with additional explosives, this can cause a threat to not only our area here, but to the public at large.
Do you guys think he will have one of those other license plates, for example, the Pennsylvania license plate? Do you think he might switch it to his car?
There's a potential, and that's why we put it up. And if you can put that out there and assure and help us with getting that information out, and you have your viewers and your listeners and readers use that information to help us out. Hey, we'll try anything at this point.
Aside from the 2 counts that you spoke about earlier this year, the domestic violence and the protective order that was violated, what else do we know about his history? Does he have a violent criminal history, or is this the first act of violence that he's displayed?
If you want to take, he's a bomb maker. He's made 3 bombs, he's deployed them. I don't know anything more vicious than that, and especially going after a police officer. So I really don't care what his record is, and I don't think anybody in this room cares what his record is. These specific acts, 3 in the last 2 days, are of the utmost seriousness to my agency and to the law enforcement community. This guy's a dangerous guy, and we need to treat him with the moniker of armed and dangerous, and also, like you asked, go after him with every available resource and follow every lead into the ground.
Do we know why he was in Stafford? No fixed address? Do we know if he has a military background, any sort of special training? Why he was here in the first place? Family in the area?
Yeah, take it.
Yes, we do know. We know that he grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He attended college at Temple University, attended some law school in North Carolina. The female victim of domestic violence involved in this case actually, as we understand, met him while he was in school, and she actually lives here. That brought him to this area. His parents also have some association here, so that's his ties to Stafford.
So you said he went to law school? He went to Temple, then he went to law school? Did I hear you right?
That's our understanding.
There was some pretty heavy equipment used on the location here in Stafford, where I believe it's a trailer park. Were you concerned at that point that there might be some booby traps at that location? Is that why that effort was used there?
We were.
And I just have one other question, because I know I'll be asked. Since we had these violent acts yesterday, we know he went after 2 law enforcement officers yesterday. Why wait until today to warn the public that this very dangerous man is out there at large, possibly with explosives?
So far, the investigation indicates that he has targeted specifically people associated with these criminal cases. There was no reason to believe that others were in harm and danger, specifically in terms of the focus, knowing what we knew in the investigation. In addition, it has taken this period of time as these outstanding detectives and agents have been feverishly working for the past 24, 36 hours to bring information together sufficient to identify him as the person responsible for these acts.
Thank you.
Sure, just the last question, just because you're standing there.
Okay.
Are you allowed to speak as to how the investigation led you to him?
I am not able to specifically speak to that, but I will tell you that there is a series of pieces of information that have been built upon a foundation that absolutely lead to him as being responsible for the bombing. So while not specifically speaking to it, again, these detectives and agents have been feverishly working to pull it together, and I continue to be amazed at their creativity in doing that.
Do we know how long he's been in the Stafford area prior to these, the protective order and now this?
I do not know. I know agents and detectives in the case do, but I'm not aware of how long he's been in Stafford.
Sheriff, sorry to keep going, but with when you were describing, you mentioned occupants in the homes. I know we've got 3 targets, the 2 law enforcement, the ex-girlfriend, but were there other people? I guess I'm trying to get a total number of people in each home that he could have seriously or fatally injured. Were there more than just one?
There was more than just one. There was. I'm not sure about the Normandy Village. I believe that was one. Captain Keebler said there's one along with a pet. And we also had in the King's Grant, we had multiple people within that residence. We had multiple people in the Country Ridge residence. There were children. There was a 15-year-old girl in the one house, which I might add, and I will tell you this, that that one home, the bomb destruction that propelled the shrapnel entered one of the bedrooms where that person's daughter sleeps, and fortunately that daughter is at college at this time, and the other daughter was sleeping in the back bedroom.
Sure,
That was in the Country Ridge, sir.
Pardon me?
That was in the Country Ridge.
I'm not saying which home that was, but
Do you have the age of the ex-girlfriend?
I do not. Again, we have that, but I don't have that with me here at this time. All right, if there are no other questions, thank you again for your assistance. Every one of us up here are truly appealing to you to assist us to get the word out far and wide so that we can remove this dangerous person from society.
Sure, that picture up on your website, we can grab it for hours.
You can, and I will turn it over to my PAO, Bill Kennedy, and he will get you anything that you need. All of the press packets are emailable. Any of the photographs we can get to you in whatever format that you absolutely need to push it out far and wide. Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
I'm sorry. I don't know how specific you can get, but in general, what was inside the pipe bomb?
I can't speak specifically to the pipe bomb, but I can tell you this, that those bombs were manufactured to kill, and they were absolutely capable of doing that. Okay, thank you all very much.
Could you check for bond?